welcome to the show. So we are going to try a new format with first gear. We're going to try making shorter videos but making more of them, sort of to help my internet with uploading high definition videos, and it makes it easier on us rather doing a 5-minute video rather than doing like a 20-minute video. And I also apologise for my voice sounding rubbish for this one because I've kind of been ill for the last few days, but yeah. The Dodge Viper started production in 1991, and as it happens was one of the first production cars ever to feature a V10 engine. An 8-litre V10 to be precise, that was initially a truck engine until the people from Lamborghini lightened it a bit so it could be used in a sports car. You could say the Dodge Viper is a truck engine in a sports car body, and to be perfectly honest, that gives you pretty much all you need to know about the car. While this car here is the 99 GTS ACR, it still follows them basic Viper principles. The steering is very much how many degrees of sidewaysness you want the car to be, rather than the direction. The brakes will stop you eventually, but probably not where you intended them to, and the car still weighs nearly 2 tons. But none of this matters when you drive it, because it's simply huge amounts of fun. You'll forgive it every time it tries and kills you because you're smiling too much to care, and probably concentrating too hard to make sure it doesn't succeed. I have to say the Viper is easily one of my favourite cars, so I jumped at the chance to have a go with the latest one. It's called the ACR, and while still instantly recognisable as a Viper, it's also easy to tell it's a bit more serious than its older brothers. It now has a huge wing on the back to keep the car glued to the track. It has some sticky outy bits at the front to help with airflow and downforce or something like that, and it now has proper race car brakes so it won't scare you every time you get to a corner. Thankfully it still has the ridiculous 8.4 litre V10 engine, and now produces a massive 600 horsepower. Put this all together and the outcome is astonishing. Where previous Vipers would be going madly out of control, this one simply has huge amounts of grip and will easily stick to the track. You can throw it into a corner and know it's going to stick rather than holding on for dear life. Which is no surprise when you consider this car has over 10 times the amount of downforce the standard SRT10 Vipers have. And while yes, it is still possible to get it going sideways if you're really an idiot, it is incredibly hard work, considering this is an American muscle car after all. Straight line speed is as good as you would expect, with 0-60 taking just 3.4 seconds and a top speed of 182 miles an hour. While this isn't hugely different to any of the other Vipers, that's also not exactly surprising considering the amount of drag all the downforce parts on this car are going to be generating. You would never normally compare an American muscle car to the likes of Ferraris or Lamborghinis, but this Viper could easily keep up with the best the Italians have to offer. I would go so far as to say this is one of, if not the best supercar out there. I honestly can't think of anything that combines such intimidating looks, blistering straight line speed, huge levels of grip, all with one of the best sounding engines out there. And what's even most impressive of all of this is that the car only costs 100,000 credits. That's less than half the price of a 458 Italia and a quarter of the price of a Lamborghini Aventador. Not bad for something that started out life as a truck engine sports car. Of course, there's only one way for us to see how the ACR compares to the rest of the world's supercars, and that is for the Stig to drive a lap of the test track. Off the line, and there's, well, the usual amount of tyre smoke from a rear-wheel drive American muscle car, but the Stig soon has it under control and is quickly putting down all 600 horsepower from the car's V10 engine. First corner, there's a little twitch going into it, but keeps it nicely under control. There's no oversteer that we saw from the GTS earlier, and there's not really that much understeer either. Up to Chicago now, heavy on the brakes. The car does stop in time. There's not that much. Is it going to be no oversteer at all from there. Nicely in between the lines. Now, where the car's really strong in a straight line, a little bit of wiggling down there, but keeps it under control. Heavy on the brakes into hammerhead. Normally where American muscle car is going to come undone with its lariness, but no, that's still all nicely under control. Up through the fastest part of the track, and the Stig himself said that this car here equals the Lotus 211 speed through the follow through there, which is pretty impressive considering this is Yeah, traditionally a very sideways car. And up through the last two corners now, nicely keeping it under control. Is there going to be any sidewaysness through here? It's a little bit of understeer actually, and across the line. Now for the all-important lap time. And the ACR Viper did it in 1 minute 13.7, which puts it just slightly ahead of the Aventador in third place. That's really not that bad. It's not even that far off the Celine and the Joss. Bearing in mind it is only a mid S-Class car. Now, for those of you who might be interested, we also put the 99 GTS around the track that was on at the start. And that did a lap time of 1:20.8, which put it just ahead of the Seat and the two Aston Martins, which really isn't that bad for a more proper American muscle car. That's all we have time for, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Leave any comments in the little boxy thing underneath if you like the new format or if you prefer the old one. But yeah, until next time, goodbye.